This is a K-Flight controller of GE brand. It is usually used for flight control on agriculture drones. This time we installed it on this small drone for testing. Take a look at the interface on all sides of this above. Here are the various interfaces of M1 to M8, which are connected to the motor. Motor number 1, number 2, etc. can be connected in sequence. The interface at the bottom of this column is for the LED tail light. The tail light flashing changes can show the status of the flight controller. This tail light connector is a 4-pin connector, which can be plugged into the flight controller like this. At the bottom of this column is the link interface, which is used to transmit data on the flight controller. This line is for the computer to debug the data. This interface is connected to the computer, and this interface is connected to link. This is the PMU, which is the power control module. Is directly connected to the battery. This plug is inserted into the POW interface on the flight controller. Pay attention when connecting this line. We can see that there are many gaps on one side of the interface. The signal line is connected to the side with a gap. And this line consists of lines of 3 colors. Black is the ground wire, white or light one is the signal line. When connecting, connect the white or light color signal line to the side with the gap at the bottom. The another end of this cable is for the battery. This is GPS. There is also an interface for GPS wiring on the flight controller. This thread is also made up of 3 thin threads of different colors. Therefore, the white signal line also needs to be connected to the side with the gap at the bottom of the interface. As you can see, the black line is above and the white line is below. The RC interface marked on the flight controller is connected to the remote control. The connection between the flight control and the remote control refers to RC remote control. The P1, P2, L1, K1, K2 interface is marked above this. It is to connect some other functions on the agriculture drone. Interfaces such as pump, governors, etc. There are also CAN1 and CAN2 interfaces on both sides, which are extended interfaces. Can be connected to some obstacle avoidance radar interfaces. This one is a DuPont line, which is used to connect the RC interface just mentioned. The same as GPS and PMU wiring. The light-colored wire is connected to the bottom of the interface. One end of this wire is connected to the RC interface, and the other end is connected to the remote control. See this link interface again. The line we just used is only used for computer debugging data. We can also connect the link interface with a remote control line. If our line is not used for computer debugging, you can unplug it. Change the line that can be connected to the remote control. different from the line connected to the computer. It is only used for debugging data. This is directly used for connection when using connected to the remote control for data transmission. Now look at the hole. POW is connected to the battery. GPS is connected to the GPS. RC is connected to the remote control. Link is connected to the data transmission line. LED is connected to the tail light. M1 to M8 is connected to the motor. Now what we see is a set of remote controls. This is the ground side, used for manual operate. This is the onboard receiver of the drone, installed on the drone. We use a larger set this time. This set can be used directly on the agriculture drone, which is more convenient for us to learn. The general remote control has several functions. The most important function is the remote control. This is the line of the SBUS remote control. This end is connected to the RC interface of the flight control. It should be noted that the white signal line is connected to the bottom gap of the interface. The black ground wire is connected to the top of the interface. See clearly and then insert it. This is the interface of a remote control, which is used for the remote control function of the remote control. This is for data transfer. Mainly used for data transmission of flight control, it is a 4-pin interface. The other end of the line needs to be connected to the link interface on the flight controller. In this way, the data on the flight controller can be transmitted to the receiver of the remote control. The receiver transmits it to the ground side of the remote controller so that we can see the flight control data on the ground side of the remote controller. So this is for data transfer. This is a 6-pin interface, which is the interface of 5 channels of PWM. The operation of these 5 channels can be controlled by the ground side remote controller respectively. Generally, you can set whether to use it or not, and you cannot connect it if you don't need it if there is a remote control function. There are 5 channels on this that can be directly controlled on this. The last one is the 8-pin interface, which is used for image transmission. The image transmission is connected to the camera. The image data of the camera can be transmitted to the ground side through the receiver of the remote control. You can see the video content on the ground side remote control display. This remote control is a 3-in-1 remote control, digital transmission, and image transmission. So this remote control is more expensive. This is actually also on a remote control, with 5 channels of remote control. This is a direct remote control flight control. This is data transmission. This is image transmission. This is a 3-in-1 function of remote control, data transmission, and image transmission. This is 2 antennas, which are fixed on the drone. for connection to ground side remote control. This one also has a fan on it. This one also has a power module. This is the connector that needs to be connected to the battery. From the display of the power module, it can be seen that the battery can be connected to 6S to 14S. After the battery is connected, the remote control can be powered by this power module. The fan is mainly used for heat dissipation, because heat dissipation is required for image transmission, etc. This is the whole remote control system. The remote control is exactly the same as the one on the agriculture drone. It can be used as a remote control on the agriculture drone.